In the heart of the golden kingdom of Vidanagar, wisdom was as prized as treasure, and the court of King Samrat was its vault. Ministers debated philosophy, poets recited verses that could move hearts, and scholars spoke in tongues of logic and reason. Among them all, one man stood tall, Minister Varun. His name echoed beyond borders, known for his unmatched intelligence and wisdom that seemed to pierce through the thickest clouds of confusion. But for all the admiration Varun received, there was one thing that cast a shadow over his legacy. His only son, Arin. Arin was unlike his father in every visible way. Where Varun spoke eloquently, Arin was silent. Where the minister dazzled in court with intellect, Arin preferred to wander quietly in the palace gardens, watching birds or observing the quiet flow of the fountains. He was simple, reserved, and seemingly aloof from the grandeur of his father's world. Whispers began to float through the court. Such a shame. Minister Varun's son seems like a fool. He doesn't speak, doesn't think. A mind like Varun's and a boy like that? One day, as the court enjoyed an afternoon of music and mockery, King Samrat, known for his sharp wit and love of humor, decided to toy with young Arin. He called the boy forward. "Arin," the king said with a sly grin, "tell me something. Which is more valuable, gold or silver?" Without a moment's hesitation, Arin bowed and replied, "Silver, your majesty." The court burst into laughter. The king nearly fell from his throne, slapping his knee with delight. "Even a minister's son can lack sense," the king bellowed, and the laughter grew louder. From that day onward, the joke continued. Each afternoon, King Samrat would offer Arin a choice, a gold coin or a silver coin. And every single time, Arin would choose the silver coin. The laughter in the court grew louder with each visit. Even the guards and servants began to whisper behind his back. "The boy chooses silver again," they'd chuckle. "He truly is a fool." Minister Varun, though usually calm, began to feel the sting. His heart ached to see his son mocked, and though Arin never complained, Varun knew the whispers reached his ears too. One evening, after the court had retired and the palace grew quiet, Varun walked to the garden where Arin sat beneath a banyan tree. "Son," Varun began gently, "why do you choose silver each time? You know gold is worth more." Arin looked up and smiled, not a trace of sadness in his eyes. "Father, if I choose gold, the game will end. They will no longer call me. I would have just one gold coin and nothing more. But if I keep choosing silver, they keep laughing, and they keep giving. One silver coin a day, every day. Over time, I'll have more than I ever would have had with just one piece of gold." Varun stood still, stunned. His eyes searched his son's face. It was calm, untroubled, and filled with clarity. Tears welled up in his eyes, not of sorrow, but of pride. That night, Varun realized something many never do, that wisdom doesn't always wear robes of grandeur or speak in poetic riddles. Sometimes it's silent, it's patient, it's underestimated. News of this conversation quietly spread through the palace like the fragrance of jasmine on a warm night. Slowly, the laughter at Arin's expense began to fade. Some stopped finding it funny, some began to suspect, and a few began to admire. Months passed, then years. The kingdom saw war and peace, drought and harvest. Minister Varun grew older, his beard gray. One day the king fell ill. The question of succession loomed long. Though he had sons, the king wanted someone wise and capable to guide them during their early rule. "Who among the ministers can guide the future of Vidanagar?" the nobles asked. The king, weak in bed, spoke just one name: Arin. The court gasped. "Arin, the boy who chose silver." But then an old servant stepped forward and spoke with trembling hands. "He's no fool. He is wiser than us all." With quiet acceptance, Arin took his place beside the king's sons, not as a ruler, but as a silent guardian of wisdom. His decisions were thoughtful, his speech rare but powerful. Under his guidance, the young princes learned humility, strategy, and the strength of silence. Years later, when Arin himself had become old and gray, a child in the court asked him, "Sir, why did you choose silver over gold when you were young?" Arin bent down and whispered, "Because the world sees only the shine of gold, but silver shines slowly." Moral of the story: true wisdom is not always loud. It is not always adorned in titles or spoken in long speeches. Sometimes it is quiet, patient, and misunderstood. Arin taught us that the greatest minds are not always the most recognized, and that sometimes playing the fool is the wisest move of all.